The tide began to turn with a BBC lecture delivered in 1962, entitled Tynged yr Hiaith, The Fate of the Language. It was delivered by leading dramatist, academic and political agitator Saunders Lewis.
Mi rhaid dybiad y bydd terfyn ar y Gymraeg yn iaith fyw tua dechrau'r 11th ganrif ar hugain. Nid dim llai na chwyldroad yw adfer o'r iaith Gymraeg yng Nghymru.
It succeeded in its aim and galvanised concerns over the future of Welsh into a 1960s protest movement led by Cymdeithas yr Iaith Gymraeg, the Welsh Language Society. As civil rights movements emerged elsewhere in Europe and America, here in Wales, rallies and non-violent protests were orchestrated. The Welsh language had found a voice. A modicum of recognition and status were granted with the assent of the first Welsh Language Act of 1967.
Mae Saunders Lewis wedi dangos I ni bod eisiau ymladd am ein hawliau ni yn y Gymraeg ac mae wedi chwyldroi, dwi'n credu, y ffordd oedd pobl yn edrych ar y Gymraeg a'r adeg pan oedd hynny yn digwydd ar draws y byd.
For the Welsh language to survive, it needed to be valued. It needed to attain a higher status and it needed to be used in all spheres of life. In administration, in the media, for business and commerce, as well as all aspects of our social and community lives. It needed to be drawn into parts of our everyday lives where it hadn't been before.
As people realised how important the Welsh language was, several new organisations were set up in the 60s and 70s to ensure that people could use the language in their everyday life. The Hiaith was actually established in 1922 and since then has ensured that children and young people can take part in fun activities through the medium of Welsh. And this is very important to ensure that they can use Welsh outside of the classroom.
Mudiad Ysgolion Meithrin, these days referred to simply as Mudiad Meithrin, was founded in 1971 to give the children of Wales preschool education through the medium of Welsh.
The 60s and 70s also saw a marked growth in Welsh medium education in primary and secondary schools. The growth of Welsh medium education had begun. However, with these few exceptions, mainstream education in Wales remained very much part of an English medium educational system, and would remain so for decades to come. During the 1970s, the campaigns of Cymdeithas yr Iaith Gymraeg continued to make the headlines. The seemingly sudden growth of all things Welsh and the charged context of language protests no doubt puzzled, alarmed and antagonised some non-Welsh speakers.
Mae bwysig iawn cofio, mae o trwch bobl Cymru a trwch y Cymru Gymraeg ei hunain yn gwrthwynebu Cymdeithas yr Iaith a mediadau eraill. Mae'n chwyrn iawn, yn tyfe. Ond wrth gwrs, mi ond yn fudiad oedd achos o'i blaidau ac yn rhan o fudiad byd-eang wrth gwrs yn y cyfnod yna dros gyfiawnder.
It was in 1982 that the Welsh Language Society's long-running campaign for a fourth Welsh channel came to fruition. Prominent politician Gwynfor Evans had threatened to embark on a hunger strike following a government policy U-turn. Minds were changed, S4C was launched, and Superted was born.
It was November the 1st, 1982, and I remember it vividly. And to be there for that was just incredible. You really did feel that you were part of something that was going to be part of history. I think establishing S4C is probably one of the most important things to happen to the Welsh language in the second half of the 20th century. It meant that the Welsh language was actually coming into people's homes every day for hours and hours on end.
Rha'n treulio dipyn o amser yn eich rŵm ffrynt chi o hyn ymlaen.
And the fact that it was happening just gave the Welsh people such an incredible boost of confidence, I think, and made us really believe that we were doing something special, and all this was happening in the Welsh language for the very first time.
Radio Cymru had hit the airwaves 5 years previously in 1977. amidst a growing Welsh language rock and pop scene, with denim-clad rockers Edward H. Davies leading the vanguard. In 1988, the weekly current affairs magazine Golwg was launched. Welsh, it seemed, had caught up with the modern world. If the Welsh language had been a bone of contention in the 1960s, 70s and 80s, the 1990s saw a growing consensus around promoting the Welsh language, with all political parties consenting to the Welsh Language Act 1993. The 1993 Act saw Welsh being afforded equal validity with English for the first time. It established the Welsh Language Board, and the board was given an almost open brief to promote the Welsh language in as many ways as it could. One of its major developments was the introduction of local language initiatives, Mentra Hiaith. They're a Mentra Hiaith working with local councils in all parts of Wales.
Every year, more and more learners want to find out what's going on in their area, where and when, is it in the workplace, in the community. There is so much interest in learning the Welsh language. It's very exciting and very rewarding.
Education plays a key role in any attempt to secure and promote regional languages such as Welsh, and the 1988 Education Act had introduced Welsh as a core subject to practically all schools in Wales. And the advent of the Curriculum Cymreig set Wales and all things Welsh as the backdrop to education in Wales. In 2010, the Welsh Government published its Welsh Medium Education Strategy. Its aim stated that we want to ensure that our education system makes it possible for more learners of all ages to acquire a wider range of skills in Welsh. This will enable them to use the language in their personal lives, socially and in the workplace. It is a clear message of intent that sets value on Welsh language skills.
But the strategy is not restricted to primary and secondary schools. Further education establishments also have a crucial role to play.
The strategy aims to improve the planning of Welsh medium provision in the post-14 phases of education and training, to take account of linguistic progression and continued development of skills.
We've got lots of learners who have come from Welsh medium schools, so it's nice that they're able to continue and to hear the Welsh language being used in college.
They benefit massively from bilingual education, just an added tool in preparation for the workplace.
To that end, the Welsh Government intends to increase Welsh medium and bilingual provision in further education and work-based learning and training, and aims to provide opportunities in further education, which enables linguistic progression from the statutory education phase into the post-16 and post-19 phases, with course options that maintain and strengthen linguistic skills in Welsh.
I personally want to be a teacher. There may be many applicants wanting the same job as me, but maybe having Welsh on my CV will be extra.
If they're going to have a really good chance of getting a job after they finish college, they need to have at least the basics in Welsh, if not more.
Estyn also has a vision for further education's role in the promotion of Welsh language skills as part of their wider Hiaith Fyw, Hiaith Byw strategy. The aim of delivering any Welsh language vocational programme in work-based learning is to extend learners' Welsh language skills, to enable them to feel confident in using Welsh in their future careers and to participate fully in a bilingual community.
We use Welsh on Facebook, we can use it on Instagram.
I use it to text, meet kids, email everybody.
I use the Welsh language in college because most of my clients can speak Welsh. They enjoy me speaking Welsh to them.
Training providers will need to tailor their vocational training programmes to the Welsh linguistic needs of individuals, their potential employers and the local community they serve.
I deliver a qualification called Hiaith to the students, where we teach them basic Welsh phrases, how it would be used throughout the workplace.
We did Hiaith in college and we did a formal letter, and that could help us in the future for applying for jobs.
The world is very competitive at the moment, so speaking Welsh makes you more employable, I think.
Welsh language is something that people can learn and take with them everywhere.